Hello again, I'm David Harris. I'm a certified Ross instructor from Starkville, Mississippi, and I'm here to bore you to death with the third painting in my social distancing series. I'm here at MFJ Enterprises all by myself at their metal shop, and I'm going to paint a Bob Ross painting. This particular one is called Crimson Tide. It is the number 12 painting in Bob Ross book 23, and it's really dramatic, neat painting. Now I'm going to say in the beginning that I'm going to change some things, and that's just me. I've got to experiment a little bit. I have prepared this canvas with black gesso, allowed it to dry completely, and then I've put a very, and I stress very thin coat of liquid clear on top of that. The paints I'll be using today are titanium white, phthalo blue, dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, alizarin crimson, cadmium yellow, and yellow ochre. Now, these are, I've always called them surprise paintings, and that's because we're going to start out with transparent colors, and it will be a surprise when you put white on it or a light color that will bring those colors out. I'm going to start with alizarin crimson. And I'm going to put a good bit, because one of the very few mistakes you make on this kind of painting is not putting down enough paint to begin with. So I'm going to take alizarin crimson, and I'm going to start a third of the way up, and I'll put a good coat of alizarin crimson there. Doesn't really matter how high up I go, I'll just get it more purple, because the next color I come with will be phthalo blue. And to be honest, any of these colors will work just fine, as long as we start out with a transparent color on this black. You really can't see much anything here, which is just fine. Now I'm going to come up with phthalo blue. Phthalo blue is super strong. But we don't have to worry about it in a surprise painting. We're just going to throw some up there, and we'll see what happens when the light hits it. See, I tapped that brush in. I did that so that I don't have any gobs on the tip of it. And this painting really doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but it's always best not to have gobs up there. I'm going to come across the top and start working that down into the crimson. Hopefully we'll get it to where there's a nice smooth transition from one color to the other. Now, since I've already got those two colors in the brush, I'm going to go ahead and cover the whole canvas. Bob put a tape across there, piece of tape, to assure that you get a very straight horizon line. I'm not going to bother with that. We'll wing it. We'll get more alizarin crimson and phthalo blue. I like this kind of painting. They go real quick. They don't use a lot of paint. To me, they're just fun to do. I'm gonna come right across here. I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom of the canvas with that mix. A little bit here, we'll see what I've got. I don't know whether I mentioned or not, but when you put the black gesso on, you do need to allow it to dry completely before you go on with the oils. You don't want to collect a lot of that acrylic color in the oil brushes. So right now I've got every inch of this painting, this canvas covered with one color or another. So I'm going to go ahead and start, and I'm going to depart pretty much right out of the box from what Bob did. Get rid of that little spot of phthalo blue. I think I'll save some of my purple color. The mix alizarin crimson and phthalo blue. I'm gonna kind of wing it. Done this painting a lot of times. Really enjoy doing it. Always gives great results. I'm going to start, we'll use my little brush since I don't have color in it, my 1-inch Bob Ross brush. I'm going to go just barely to the right of the center, and we'll light that area. Now you do have to realize that when you're doing this type of painting, that the light you put in right now is all the light that this painting will ever have. So you want to be sure to get enough to begin with. Back to that same spot. I'm going to continue up the canvas. We'll keep doing that until I'm satisfied that I have as much paint as I want. And like I say, I'm kind of winging it on this thing. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll even put a little bit more right in there. So I've got a really definite spot that's brighter than anything else on the canvas. We'll play with a little bit up here. Maybe that's a cloud, I don't know. Up high. Bob did the sky very different than what I'm doing today. That's it. Be creative. Make it your painting. We have a little bit more. That's looking pretty good. That's it. Make it yours. I've got a few clouds way up there, but they're way up in the sky. I'm going to come in with my finger and do a little bit of finger painting here. I think I'll try. Cadmium yellow. See if I can make that kind of round. Maybe that's the moon. Maybe I'll add a little bit of white to that, a little bit extra. So I have a definite light source. Knock some of the paint out of my 1-inch brush. Make sure I don't have too much. I don't want green. Maybe down under this moon, we'll just say the water is going to start there. I'm going to pull a streak down. Streak down, streak down, come out and just light that water just a little bit. And I can come across with that. Not that it really makes any difference right now. It'll kind of create the illusion as I go along. I'm beginning to establish a horizon line already. This painting moves really quick because of what it is, how it works. Maybe we'll take just a little. I'll try this anyway. Take just a little bit of white. Do a few more clouds along the horizon line. And it's going to pick up some of the colors there. I really don't care. I can make some little things happen right along there. Okay, I'm liking that so far. Always have to stand back and look a little bit. I'm going to start this water. Got a little bit of color laid in there. I'm going to start with white, maybe even a little bit of yellow in it. Loaded my knife. I'm going to start right under the moon. A little bit of a horizon line. Okay, that's good enough. step on down with another one, just a little bit more. Really close together. That's out at great distance. I don't have to have them real long and defined at great distance. But as they get closer, they separate just a little bit more. Now I need to give the appearance of looking down a beach. And to do that, in ocean scene, I will need to start to angle these water lines. Right now I've got them straight, and that's just because they're all out at great distance. But as I go along, they've got to get a little bit of angle to them so that I get the appearance of looking down a beach. Now to do that, I'm going to start over here. Let's just say that this is the vanishing point. That's the horizon line, so I'm going to come down here at just a slight angle for this one. And what it's going to do is it's going to start to appear as I'm looking down a beach rather than straight out at the water. They'll tend to fan out. Each one will get more space. I'm going to work that just a little with fan brush. It's looking pretty good so far. I'm using a little rocking motion to indicate waves. You can see how that light in the bottom, the light from the moon is hitting the bottom of that trough, and then it goes dark before it gets to the next line, next wave top. And just to emphasize that, I'm going to do one more. So maybe you can get a clearer picture of that. So it's already beginning to look like water. I can put a few wave tops back in here. Pick up a little of that yellow that's in the moon. Do one more. May not be needed. I may wind up covering it up. Just so you get a better picture of what we're trying to do here. So I waved it across there, made it kind of rough. We'll take that same fan brush and we'll pull it back. There's very little dip to it. You don't want to get it real vertical. Well, now we've got a definite wave top. Water flows back into the next wave. So, with that little bit of effort, we've already got something that looks like a wave. I'm going to do a little bit of a sketch. And let's actually, I'm just going to cover that one up. I'm going to start right here. Take a little bit of that color, and I'm going to roll it over right under the moon. Angle it off here. So I've got a little sketch there. There's the lip of the wave. Here's the top as it's rolling over. And I cheat a little bit on some of this stuff. I'm going to take a paper towel and do a little bit of drying, because there are certain areas that I need to work really dry. Maybe a lip of that wave. Doesn't make much difference over there. Another place that I know that I'm going to have light shining through is in the eye of the wave, right in here. So I'm going to dry that out a little bit. If it's dry, or fairly dry, those colors are going to stick really, really well. Okay. Got my paper towels here. The next thing I want to do is I want to create a shape for the top of the wave. It's going to have to be really light. I want to use some liquid white. I need this paint to streak, and regular white doesn't streak very well. So I'm going to take some liquid white. Pop my can open. I'm going to take my fan brush, and I'm going to touch in the liquid white. Don't have very much paint on it. I'm going to wipe it out anyway though. We'll touch in the liquid white, and I want to pick up a little bit of color too. Maybe I'll pick up a little bit of crimson. So this is liquid white on the brush. I need to get this wave to give the appearance of breaking over the top and fade off. It's almost too good fan brush. I like an old fan brush, old ragged one. It gives such a good footprint. Okay, I think that'll work. Next, I'm going to take a brush that I don't normally use, and it's the filbert brush. And I had some purple left over from when I was doing the water. Alizarin crimson and phthalo blue. I'm going to come right up here and give a nice background color and some paint to pick up on when I start creating this splash. I'm scrubbing it in. I don't have to have a whole lot. Scrub it in over here a little bit. I want to get that splash to go all the way up into the sky. while, I've got my filter brush out, and I am going to clean it before I do this. I only brought one filter brush with me. Doesn't take too much to clean it. You've got a Bob Ross bucket here, just rub it on the screen. Filter brush holds very little fluid, so I'm going to just wipe it out on a paper towel. And I'm going to go to yellow and white mix again. A lot of white, a little bit of yellow. Cadmium yellow. I'm going to come right in here because this wave is so thin here that it has become transparent. So that moonlight is shining through there. Maybe a little bit brighter. Yeah, that's more like it. Water's thin, it's become transparent right where that wave is starting to break over. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna come with some white, and right on top of that, I'm gonna start mixing that in and picking up that purple. Now it's not real bright right now. I'll come back and brighten it up more later. Picking up that purple. Purple's always a good background for a splash. I don't know why it works so well. I'm not going to work with the main splash over here very much yet because I want to go ahead and get a rock in there. Something for this thing to splash against. I'm going to take some Van Dyke Brown on my knife and I'm going to draw a sketch of a rock. May not be quite as big as the one Bob had. That's okay, I'm kind of making it up as I go. Doesn't matter too much where I go. Rocks are shaped every different way. Maybe I want to turn it up just a little bit on the outer edge. And I'm not putting it down real thick. I'm just scraping this brown on. I want the color. I don't want a lot of it filled up. Don't like one of the shapes I've got in some of that water rolling over, so I'm going to Make it come up higher right there. Okay, I'm going to take my knife, a little bit of dark sienna, some white, because I need just a little bit of highlight. I also threw some crimson in there. And I'm going to have to have some highlight. I'll say out here. Maybe there's a little bit more. Change that knife a little bit. Get a little bit of rocky look. Right over here. I can put this highlight on wherever. Several layers, a little ridge there. That a little bit light. You have to add some dark back in to overcome that. Easy enough to do. It's just paint. That's not a bad looking rock. Okay. Now we'll come back with that filbert brush and continue with the white. This is just regular white at this point. Working some of it over into the rock. These surprise paintings are really fun to do. I'm going to change and get a little bit of liquid white and white mix. And liquid white is really going to come strong any place you touch. I also like the way that the fan brush makes a more ragged, splashy look. Pushing it a little bit to make those splashes appear. And give it all some direction. Back here into the rock, splashing up over the edge. Paint darken down just a little bit underneath. Okay, looking good so far. My evaluation, nobody else's. My painting. My evaluation's the only one that counts. Brush moved over to my left hand for that little tedious work. Okay. Bottom of this rock has no purpose, so I'm going to pull it off and work it down. And I can continue to put details in this thing. Clean my fan brush. And let's see, where do I want something here? I know I had something in mind when I cleaned that brush. Maybe I'll pick up a little more white and yellow and red and make this color under the moon a little stronger. going to lay in my first wash line. And that's where the waves have rolled up on the beach and are rolling back into the next wave. That's something I had a hard time with in the beginning, and really recognizing what Bob was doing. I was failing to pick up some of one of the major details. Getting some more white paint out, run short. I'm going to take some white and phthalo blue. It's usually going to be a pretty good color for the washes. Mostly white, by a great long way. When I'm doing these wash lines, I like to start and work downhill, and there's kind of a reason for that. Because what I'm doing is pushing that paint up on the bottom edge. Maybe there's one that's right there. That's where one of the prior waves was. I'm going to take and pull these washes across to create a shape. Now I'm going to make another one. Same color, same exact thing. They can kind of go anywhere, but generally speaking, they're coming downhill and to the right in this particular painting. We've got plenty of paint there to work with. Take that fan brush again and pull it flat. This beach is flat. If I pull it at an angle, well, we've worked in something that may not be possible. I don't want to touch the last wash line, but I do want to get close to it. Maybe there's a bit of a shadow under that splash over here, so I'm going to let it get dark under there. Leave it kind of dark, and maybe I'll pull that out. In fact, I'm going to take my filbert and some of that purple and purposely darken this right under here. It'll make it stand out that much better. I'm going to take my 1-inch brush and go ahead and pull this across. Again, to emphasize, this is flat. This is the beach. step back and look at that. That's coming on pretty good. We'll put a third wash line in there. And this is going to be the last one. Maybe I'll start over here at the base of the rock. Give it a little bit of a water line. More paint. A little more right in here. I was intimidated greatly in the beginning by ocean seas. Didn't understand them. And once you understand them, they are totally fine to do. Okay, so I can add any light I want anywhere in all this stuff. Stuff like that. I think I'll even grab some yellow and put in there. Here. I want to keep chopping away at it. Start putting a few little details in it. Now, since I'm on black, I'm going to try this and see if it works. I'll take the edge of the knife and just cut some veining through. And maybe I'll take the fan brush and just pull it a tiny, tiny little bit. Just to give it some shape. Pull down some of the top of this one. Again, just to give it shape since it's close up. Easy to see. Got some white and some yellow. Maybe I'll come back in here and just a little splash occasionally. Careful to follow those shapes. I can even put a little bit of stuff down here. Take my fan brush, my liner brush, and soak it down, and I want to come up with a color that It shows up against what's going on, but it is not too strong. Maybe it needs to be a little bit stronger than that. There's no limit to how much detail you can put in these things. Always want to follow the shapes that you have already got started there. Maybe I'll take and we'll leave that alone for a second. We'll take my finger. A little bit of Van Dyke Brown. And purple mix. We'll put a few rocks here and there. I could do that with filbert brush. Sometimes your finger just works a whole lot easier. This would be a good spot for one of them.